Yes, look at this magnificent spread full of Marvel Champion stuff. Woo! Okay, that was too much. I hit the wrong button. But look at it. It's magnificent. But why do I have? Am I here to pick one to prove that it's the best card ever? Well, it's not. It's not the champions. I mean, clearly, I said the best. The title of the video is the best card in the game. So it's clearly not going to be a champion because that I would have said the best champion in the game. So what could be the best card in the entire game? Let me introduce you to Children of the Atom. Children of the Atom. Best card in the entire game. And that's all you need to know. Bye. I will see you all on the next one. Oops, 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 oops. There we go. And then there was darkness. Alright, fine. You got me. I am going to explain to you why Children of Atom is the best card. And it's not going to be a long video. It's just going to be, because basically, Children of Atom fixes a problem I have with every card game that ever comes out, ever, right? So, let me take you back to the days, right, when I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh, right? And then the Crystal Beast came out, and I was like, bruh, this is my deck. I know that there's Dad, Dark Arm Dragon for those who don't know, Plague Zombie, Twilight of the End. I know there's all these cool cards, but Rainbow Dragon? Man, I am in. And they had one set dedicated to them, and then that was it. And they just sort of threw the idea out into the garbage. That's what Marvel Champions does it too. Alright, they are no stranger to this. Magic does it. We actually had a saying back in my high school, right? We were like, when I was in high school, we were like, Yu-Gi-Oh's for high schoolers, Magic's for PhD. Nostalgism. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Everyone does this. Naruto, Weiss Schwartz, Digimon, Dragon Ball Z. There's not a card game that you can pull from any card pool and just make a deck. And it works against every situation. Normally, when you deck build, what you do is you pick a few cards that you like. You then look for cards that enhance the effects of the deck you're trying to make. So, for example, here's Hulk, right? If I'm going to deck build for Hulk, I'm instinctively looking for all the cards that say Avenger, that have anything to do with Avenger, and cards that can work for anyone, right? So basic cards that can be put in any type of deck. For example, like Nick Fury, he can go in any deck. And actually, I should have used the Phoenix. The Phoenix is actually a better example because this is my Phoenix deck. And as you can see, we have cards that any champion can play. And then we have cards specifically for the X-Men, right? Then we have cards specifically for Psionics. Like if you don't have the Psionic trait, you can't use that card. And so traits are, in my opinion, a double-edged sword. All right. In my humble opinion, I believe that traits, deck types, they're all a double-edged sword. Because yes, they do limit you in what you can do, but you want to have some structure when you're making a deck. So it sort of helps you focus onto becoming a better deck builder by initially starting you off with going, hey, you're going to want cards that are for Avengers. You're definitely going to want those. Those are really good cards. You might want a few basic cards too, but you're definitely, if you want to have some allies, you might want to put Avengers Tower in the deck. And this is the kind of thoughts that at least come to my head when I'm deck building. But traits sort of prevent you from branching outside the box. So depending on what type of, and champions, or actually Web Warriors and champions are the best example of this game. There are 4 Web Warriors in this game. SPDR, Spider-Ham, Ghost Spider, and Spider-Man. Miles Morales. Then there are 4 champions in this game. Spider-Man, Ironheart, Nova, and Miss Marvel. They have the least amount of support for champions and web warriors in the entire game. Alright? It's like Fantasy Flight came in, they looked at it, they were like, we're going to do web warrior stuff, we're going to do champion stuff, and then they gave up on it and moved on to X-Men. And here's the thing. Again, I've been through this for years, alright? Every card game does it, and it's annoying when a set that you like does not get the support that you rightfully feel it deserves. I thought X-Force was going to be the same thing. Because look, there's X-Men, and then there's X-Force, alright? So these guys have two separate traits. Alright? So what that means is that I am not using X-Force support for Gambit, and Angel is not using any X-Men support. That's just the name of the game. That's the way the cookie crumbles. That used to be the way the cookie crumbles. And then we entered Children of the Atom, which basically means that all my X-Men can use X-Force, and all my X-Force characters can use X-Men stuff. So it sort of made this whole section over here by Ms. Marvel, just one big gigantic card pool that I could pick from. And I love it. I love it. I think it was an amazing move, and I didn't realize how strong it was until I started playing Children of the Atom, until I started adding it to decks, until I started doing all types of nonsense with it. And I was like, holy crap, I can get away with this? And this is the thing, right? We have a bunch of, I want to say this, right? So we have the X-Men set, then we have the Avengers set. They have about 20 characters between them, right? We've got 4, 8, 12, 16. Yeah, we got about 20 Avenger characters. And 5, 10, 15. Yep. 6, 20, 22. And 22 X-Men characters. So these two groups of traits have the biggest card pool in the entire game. Alright, yes. There are about 2, 4, 6, 8 Guardians, which is actually the same amount of champions and web warriors combined. But, you know, if you look at the game, right, having traits that don't have access to a large amount of card pool is really annoying, especially when you're purchasing the game, alright? Because I want you to understand, when I purchased the X-Force, I understood that these 6 characters that I'm really looking forward to are not going to receive any support once they all come out, okay? There isn't going to be any more support for Angel. There's not going to be any more support for X-23. These guys are just going to have their little card pool, and then they're going to go right off to the side, and I'm going to focus less on making X-Force decks and just making other types of decks, right? But that changed. No, but it changed, and I didn't think it would. Because, again, I want you to understand, like, for Magneto, I didn't look at anything about Magneto. I dislike looking at the future card prints that are coming out because I don't want to know. I want to be surprised by the things I see. And when I was looking through Magneto's cards, and playing as Magneto, I was like, man, this is all cool and stuff. I'm loving it. And I glanced at Children of Atom, and I'm like, wait a minute. This looks like some BS, yo. Is that really how that works? And I said it like that. And then I started playing it, and deck ideas started coming out. And I sort of want this type of thing for these characters, for my web warriors, for my champions, because I think it's very annoying that I have a small subset of traits that do have a small set of card pool available to them. And here's the thing. I'm not saying that you can't make amazing decks with web warriors or with champions. I'm not saying you can't do that at all. But what I'm saying is that you have the support of 20 heroes before it. And it would be nice if these characters had access to this 20 pool of characters. I could understand, right, that these guys aren't X-Men, but they were Avengers at one point in their career. You know what I mean? I could understand Spider-Man eventually being a Web Warrior. And here's the thing, right? Actually, for Spider-Man, they did do the honorary Spider-Man, so they do have honorary cards that give you the trait. So, for example, if I were to play Honorary Avenger, it would give a character the Avenger trait. But I want you to understand how annoying that is, right? So, I'm going to use Star-Lord and She-Hulk as an example. If I wanted to give Star-Lord the Avenger trait, then I would have to put Avenger cards in his deck, right? Because what's the point of giving him the Avenger trait if you don't have any Avenger cards to use that with? Okay, so I have to make a She-Hulk deck that has about 3 Avenger cards because I need to make sure I draw them so I can play them on Star-Lord so his deck can come online and start doing the cool things. That is so convoluted, and there's so many steps in between. It's like, why would I go through all this? Why would I play Honorary Avenger on someone else? Why would I even put it on my deck? There are better cards I can put in my deck other than Honorary Avenger. Children of Atom doesn't have that type of nonsense. Max 1 per player. Play under any player's control. Any player. You don't need the Avenger trait. You don't need X-Men. You don't need X-Force. You don't need nada. You can just play Children of the Atom on you. And I feel that's where those trait cards messed up at. And here's the thing. There's 4 of them. There's one that gives you Avenger trait, ones that gives you Guardian, ones that give you Web Warrior. There isn't one for Champions, I believe. So Guardians is the same thing. You need the Guardian trait to play that Guardian card, which is redundant in and of itself, and it gives you +1 HP. Avengers, you need to have Avenger. You need the Avenger trait to play that card, which means it's pointless to play on yourself because it just gives you 1 HP. And then Web Warrior, you need to have Spider in your name in order for you to use it. So you can play it on Peter Parker, or you have to play it when Peter Parker is Spider-Man. So he can't even be Peter Parker. He has to be Spider-Man, and then you play it on him, and then he can be considered a Web Warrior. You see how annoying that is? That's a bunch of convoluted stuff that is just did not get fixed with Honorary Avengers, Honorary Guardian. You know, and yes, there is the Honorary X-Force. There is the Honorary X-Men, but I threw those to the back of my mind, alright, because we got Children of the Atom, and this is just such a better card, alright, in all Fate Station form. Yes, you know, there are some things you can't do, like if you switch over to Mutant, you lose the traits, but that's fine. Being able to be in hero form and have all those traits is, I think, an amazing thing, and honestly, they need to release more cards like Children of Atom, because we have this card pool. We have these amazing card pools, and then we have characters that don't have the traits to access that card pool. And I think that's a shame, especially because we're going into the next set, which is coming in with a brand new set of traits. Shield. Are there a few Shield ones here? I believe there are. No. Nope. 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 These are all just Avengers. None of them have Shield. Oh no, she's Champion. I threw her to the side. But yeah, all of these in front of me are just Avengers. I mean, James Rhodes has Shield Soldier, but that's in his alter ego form. And we're going into another set of characters that are going to have the Shield trait. And here's the thing. I don't mind spending money and buying the next set here. You know what I mean? Especially because I know you can find deals for them sometimes. But what I do mind is buying 4 characters that have these traits and can only use, and have access to this certain amount of card pool, and then that's it. And then they don't get any more support. And here's the thing. I'm okay. I know what you're thinking. Oh, well, X-Men and X-Force aren't going to get any more support. That's fine. They have 20 characters full of X-Jets and all types of weird, crazy cards that work with X-Men and X-Force, alright? Believe me, I'm eating good, okay? I am eating good. If I'm the Avengers, I'm eating good. If I'm the Guardians, I'm eating slightly okay. You know what I mean? I may need a little bit more to the plate, but again, having more choice and having more deck variety, I think, is an amazing thing. But at the same time, you don't want to have a scenario where it's just unstructured, because then it's like, how do I make a deck? You know what I mean? Like, part of me, and here's the thing, I've played Arkham and I've played the Lord of the Rings. I've never made decks for Lord of the Rings. I've looked up deck building for Arkham because, I play that from time to time. I have a real love-hate relationship with it. But it's like, even when you're deck building Arkham, you still got to pick an aspect. You pick a certain amount of cards. There's some structure in the chaos. And again, for a game like this, I don't mind structure in the chaos. But I mind when you release heroes with traits that don't get used. And I think, this isn't a video to, I don't want anyone to think like, oh, you're crapping on Fantasy Flight. Everyone does it. Every card game does it. But this is one of the few instances I've ever seen where a developer releases a card that just says, listen, all that money you spent to get all of the X-Men and all of the X-Force, we're going to hook you up and make sure that you have these heroes have access to all the card pools between them. And I'm okay with that. I don't mind if these guys don't have the Avengers trait, but getting this stuff is amazing. So, yeah, this is why I think Children of the Atom is the best card in the game. I know I said this was going to be a short video, but I really want to get in how thankful I am that they included a card like this and that they showed us that they can do something like this. Because as the game progresses, there are going to be cards that get old. There are going to be cards that don't age well. There are going to be heroes that were just never good. I'm looking at you, Hawkeye. Worst character in the game. Who said that? But yeah, I feel like shedding a light on how amazing Children of Atom is just something, I just wanted to do it because I feel like more people need to know how good this is. And maybe we can get Fantasy Flight to say, hey, how about giving the Avengers status in an easier way to the next wave of heroes that you're releasing, alright? Like, you are releasing Nick Fury and Maria Hill, so how about we get them the Avengers status so they don't come in just waiting for new cards to sort of add to enhance the shield effect. Maybe they come in with the card that gives them the Avenger title so they have access to all of these cards over here. I think that would be baller. It would be greater if I saw more Web Warrior stuff come out, but that's another story for here or there. I've got plenty of things to say about what I think, how I think that they can improve the game. But right now, I'm rambling, and so I'm going to stop right now. Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and let me know how you felt about this discussion video, because I think this one, listen, I made like 15 discussion videos, okay? And I've deleted each and every one of them because I forget what I said in the previous video or I did something else. It's maddening, but let me know what you think down in the comments below about how, and especially how you feel about the game. Because I do think that if we let Fantasy Flight know how we would like them to change the game up, because I would be all up if a lot of these older heroes had upgraded cards. You know what I mean? If these guys, if they were like, yeah, we're releasing sets where you have another 10 cards, but you can choose to put them in your older heroes deck, I think that'd be sweet. Because again, a lot of these heroes don't age well or have never been good. And I think that's a real shame. Because I don't mind, I'm going to use Hawkeye as a perfect example. I think he's the worst character in the game. Alright, there is no one lower than him, okay? Because he's a terrible character, and it feels bad, because I want to like him. There's a lot of heroes I like in this game. There's a lot of heroes I'm sort of mid with, like, I'll play them every once in a while. But then but Hawkeye is, I'm about to get into Hawkeye hating. Alright, let me stop. Maybe that's another video for another day. But let me know what you think. And also let me know if you hate Hawkeye as much as I do. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button. And I will catch you all in the next video. Later.